The Adidas Adizero EVO SL is definitely one of the most compelling daily trainers out there right now. It uses Lightstrike Pro in the midsole. It's very lightweight. It's got a fantastic smooth rocker design, so transitions are buttery smooth, and it sits in that sweet spot between daily trainer and super trainer. So this one is incredibly versatile. Let's get straight to it. Now it's not perfect, but for those who want one shoe to do most of their training runs at an affordable price, this one needs to be on your radar. All right, let's kick off with the key specifications. They cost $150. I'll let you know by the end of this review if they're worth that price tag. They weigh 8.3 ounces or 235 grams. That's for a size US men's 9, my pair. They have a drop of 6 millimeters. That's 38 millimeters at the heel and 32 millimeters under the forefoot. The upper is using a very breathable engineered mesh, and it's got these nice Adidas stripe overlays here, which give it a little bit of extra support and kind of puts your foot in place, hugs it within the shoe, and it has good structure overall, but that tongue, we're going to talk about that in a minute. The midsole is using full-length Lightstrike Pro with a nylon composite midfoot shank. That Lightstrike Pro midsole is really the headline story with this one. And on the outsole, you've got continental rubber compound. Where it's needed, there are still some exposed areas, and it is a very thin layer, but so far durability has been holding up really well. When it comes to sizing and fit, this is going to be important. I highly recommend going down a half size in these. They just feel way too voluminous. I feel like my foot is a little bit loose in the shoe and there's way too much length in there as well. So sizing down a half size would feel so much better. That said, there is a nice amount of room in the toe box. I'm pretty sure that's going to hold out if you do size down a half size as well. The midfoot lockdown will be so much better then. The heel lockdown is already really good, so go down a half size, you're going to get a much better experience. The collars and the heel counter are all really nicely padded, so it's very comfortable to slip your feet in. If you have particularly low ankle bone geometry, and you know you do, you might start feeling these collars touching the bottom of your ankle bone, so just be aware of that. And then you've got this tongue, which is incredibly short, doesn't work for me, also slips around when you're running. Improvement needs to be made there. And finally, the laces, they're a little bit spindly. Not a fan of these either, to be honest, but they do the job and they do stay done up. If you're enjoying this review so far, be sure to like the video. I really appreciate it when you guys do that. It helps me and my channel out, and it makes me look more popular than maybe I am. And comment on the video. I really want to get your experiences if you've run in this shoe. It's been out for a while now, but it has been one of my most requested running shoes to review. So I'm finally getting around to it, and I'm really excited to share all my thoughts on this one. If you've had experience, I want to know how you've been running in it, what kind of runs you do, what kind of build you've got, what kind of paces you run. Put as much information as you can. It's going to help me understand how you've been using it, but also it's going to help my community. It's going to help them decide whether or not these are going to be best for them or not. So put as much info as you can, please. And of course, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell, and I'll see you on the next review. All right, let's get straight into my performance review. I'm going to talk about the ride first, and most of the ride is happening from this forefoot shank or the nylon plate within the shoe, but mostly the Lightstrike Pro foam. So it is a racing foam. It's what's been used in Adidas's racing shoes, and that's really the headline story for this one. The fact you've got a $150 shoe using this midsole foam, and you really feel it. You get this really bouncy, fun, energetic ride that holds out throughout your run, and I know it's going to be durable just by how it feels. It's got that really nice springy, energetic forward propulsion feel without tipping into that awkward super shoe territory that you see here. When I say awkward, I'm talking about how the ride can sometimes feel a little bit tippy or just unstable, and because of that it kind of takes away from the run or the enjoyability of your run. Is that even a word? I don't know. But it takes something away because you're constantly trying to stabilize yourself on the run. It actually wears your feet down more as well because you're usually trying to fight a carbon plate in those racing shoes. So this one doesn't have that issue. It flexes well. And yes, there is a nylon plate in here, but it doesn't act like a normal plate because it's more at the forefoot. And that acts as a stability feature of sorts. And all together, you just get this really nice, smooth, buttery feel as you're running. This cushioning is actually going to be really good for heavier runners as well because it's not super plush. It's very soft for sure, but it bottoms out. It doesn't compress all the way. It bottoms out. It almost feels like you hit the midpoint of this foam. It compresses to that point, but then it springs back rather than just plush cushioning where you compress it all. It slowly compresses the final parts of it and then nothing happens. You don't get any bounce back. That's not what happens here. You get tons of response. So yes, a lot of people are going to feel more of a stable platform for such a high stack shoe. And I think that is one of the big reasons that so many people seem to like this shoe out there right now, is this midsole, the stability, the playfulness, energy that it gives you back. And of course you've got the rocker geometry, which really helps smooth out that transition from heel landing to toe takeoff. It all works really well together. Something else I really like about this shoe is the pace range that you can get from it. It is a daily trainer, but I would put it also in the cushioned tempo shoe territory. It sits somewhere between that daily training shoe and super trainer without the price tag. I guess you could compare it to the Adidas Adizero. If you're not familiar with that shoe, that's fantastic. Same price actually, and performs in a very similar way. It's very fast and it is a daily trainer, super trainer type shoe that does a lot of your different types of training runs. And if you want to learn more about that one, watch the review next. So that means you can do slower paced runs in this shoe and still get the nice bounce and responsiveness from this midsole foam. But I feel like it just wants to make me run faster. There's something about the geometry in this foam that just performs better at higher speeds for me. But that also means it can keep a nice consistent speed over longer distances really well too. So that actually makes it a really good marathon training weapon too. When it comes to traction on the run, the Continental rubber compound on the outsole has been doing a really good job actually. It looks super minimal and there's no lugs, so to speak, on here, but it really does stick to the tarmac. I've actually gone over some wet sections in this as well, and it has held out really well. And because there's no lugs or anything, I was curious to see how durability would fare, but so far I'm not seeing any wear on it at all. So that speaks volumes in terms of the durability of this Continental rubber compound. I am going to be using these a lot more, so I will keep an eye on it. If I do notice any durability issues popping up sooner than they should, I will update the comments section down below. Now there are a couple of drawbacks which I did briefly mention before. The biggest one being this tongue here. It is tiny. I mean, what is this? Unfortunately, it isn't gusseted either. Yes, it's got this loop on the top for trying to attempt to pin it in place, but because this loop is so big, the laces go through a few times and it's not really doing any anchoring of the tongue at all. The tongue isn't gusseted either, and because it's so small, all those factors come together and that means your tongue just slips down into the side during the run. Now, it doesn't feel that bad on the run. It would be so much better if there was a bigger tongue that would stay in place. And the other issue is these spindly laces. They're a good length, but I don't like these. They feel a bit basic for the shoe that you're getting. Maybe it's something that helps keep the price down of these shoes, but I feel like maybe an upgraded lace, which just tied up better, would be a better option for Adidas. It's not a deal breaker by any means, but it's just something that stands out to me as not being up to scratch in terms of quality when compared to the rest of the shoe. Now, if you're wondering where this one has placed on my best tempo running shoes roundup, yes, I'm putting it in my cushioned tempo running shoes roundup because although this is also a daily trainer, I feel like it just wants you to run fast and do the slightly faster paced training run. So I'm putting it in that roundup. Go check it out, links up there. That'll help you decide which cushion tempo running shoe is going to be best for you, because there are a lot of great options out there right now. Well, you made it to my final verdict. Adi EVO SL worth $150? Yes, that's incredible value for money for a versatile daily trainer like this. One that feels like a cushion tempo running shoe and almost a super trainer. You get really good quality for the most part. This midsole here, this is the feature highlight for me. It just feels like a, high quality premium racing shoe on the foot, but you've got a stable platform, so it's kind of a best of both worlds there. And you're not fighting a carbon plate here, but you still get tons of pop. Whoa! Nice. So I think if you are looking for a lively, energetic, fast, cushioned, protective, good looking running shoe right now, I think these are going to be a great option. It's a great place to start. But again, do check out my roundups up there or in the links in the descriptions. That'll help point you to the best ones for you, but these are very easy for me to recommend, as long as you get the sizing correct. Well, I really hope you enjoyed this Adizero EVO SL review. If you did, please comment down below, let me know you enjoyed it, or just say hi and like the video. And of course, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you on the next review. Peace.